Hey, what's up, Internet? It's your boy Malik here, and I wanted to talk more about the state of the video game community, preferably reviewers and the people surrounding that, because that's what I'm constantly seeing now on my feed. I'm a man that loves video games. Video games is constantly on my feed when it comes to social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the fuck it is. So I'm not really getting this overwhelming urge to hate stuff now, especially when it comes to a subject, specifically video games, like something that we're supposed to have fun with, and just enjoy and have a good time and turn your brain off and enjoy, and escape the real world and shit. But it seems like nowadays it's this overwhelming urge to hate, and I have a kind of an idea where it comes from. I think it comes from just people just wanting popularity, and it's the popular thing to hate. If one person hates this, then you have to run with it instead of just having your own opinion and forming your own opinion. Or that person's opinion is now stuck in your head, and now you cannot enjoy what you are now playing and want to review in the future. And the game that really kind of set this off for me is not even a Redfall, to be honest. It was all the way back in, fuck, I want to say Callisto, but it wasn't even Callisto. Like I've been feeling this for a minute. I felt like this with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, even though I haven't even beaten that game for obvious reasons. But I feel like the game is pretty good still. Like it's still a pretty decent game. I just think it's too fucking big. Like it's too big of a game. That's crazy for me to say because I always like big games, but that game's too big. Like I still haven't beaten it to this day. But I think it's still a pretty decent Assassin's Creed game. It's not dealing directly with assassins, but it is showing what went on the sidelines. Like it didn't always have to be about it. Like we have so many games about assassins in Assassin's Creed that we can take a side story. We've taken side stories before. I think with Rogue. I haven't really played Rogue, but I've seen things for Rogue. Like I know you start off an assassin and you turn into a Templar. Like this one's a side story. Eivor is not exactly in the assassin order, but he's helping them out. But the game's too big. It's not an Assassin's Creed game because we can't walk and blend into crowds and move slowly. If we don't walk, if we run at any point in time in Assassin's Creed 1, you are automatically suspicious unless you're walking, which is crazy and had like the worst combat. You just hold the you held the block button and waited for somebody to attack and then you countered them. Like Assassin's Creed 1 was good for the time, but it's not good for now. Like let's come on now, let's admit that. Even 2, like 2 now, going back to that, even though Ezio had the best saga, is still not up to today's standards of what we have for Assassin's Creed. But that's a video for another time if I ever feel like making it, which I probably won't. But back to the thing of the video game community, it's an overwhelming, it's just too much hate going on, and I don't really understand it because we're supposed to be having fun with this stuff. Every game that comes out is always a nitpick, there's always something about it that we just, oh, this shit is awful, unless it's like a classic game or a game that we know will do well. So, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, we know that game will do okay. Alright, nobody's really going to complain about that game. Same thing for Resident Evil 4. The only thing I've seen about Resident Evil 4 that people complain about, or type of controversy, is when that one guy uploaded a video basically lying about the remake of the game and the quality of it. Forgot his name, doesn't matter, don't care. But that's the only thing I heard about that. Like, it's always these games that we know are going to be good. Dead Space remake. We know that was going to be a banger. We know that was going to be fucking fire. There was no doubt about it. But even with that game, people compared to Callisto, even though Callisto is a completely different game than Dead Space, and it's just, that argument right there drove me mad because people were saying that, oh, Callisto's not scary like Dead Space. Dude, if you think Dead Space is scary, go stand in the darkness for like 5 minutes. Okay? Dead Space is not scary. You have a gun, you have an arsenal of weaponry. The necromorphs lose their scare factor after like the fifth kill of them. After a while, you start getting numb and you just get used to seeing necromorphs. It's not that scary, especially towards the end game when you start mowing down motherfuckers. Like it's not a scary game. So I didn't actually understand that correlation of fear factor, which fear factor in general is subjective. So like even I was wrong in that. Like that's a subjective thing. People are more scared of things than others. Like personally, horror games don't scare me. I can go through them being fine unless it's a jump scare. But jump scares or the most effective and least fair type of scare out there. So, like, that's a given. Anybody's gonna get scared by a jump scare every now and then. But even when it came to that, when it came to Callisto, people were shitting on it because I heard one thing. It was frame rate. This argument with frame rate is like wild to me. I can understand on PC why you would be upset. But PC people also have to understand you are playing on PC. Your advantage is that yes, you have better graphics, better frame rate, and you have more game options because indie games and things you can just download for the website and all that. That's great. But the thing people have to understand when you go to PC, you will encounter worse ports of games. You will have frame rate problems. You will have bugs and glitches that will fuck your game up. Like, it's going to happen. I don't know why people haven't realized this at this point. And I'm mainly talking to like the big YouTubers that play on nothing but PC. They got this fucking $5,000 PC rig that was gifted to them by some company or some shit that they had custom made. Dude, you're on PC. You're going to encounter glitches. Like, this has been a common thing for like the past 10 years, even more than that. Like, I'm just trying to go from like my memory alone when I first noticed this stuff. Like, it's probably even longer than that. PCs always have problems. So I don't understand when it comes to the review side of things, on YouTube specifically, and you hear these people complain about frame rate. Oh god, frame rate is awful. Oh, the bugs and the glitches. This is the worst PC port ever. I don't play on PC. I've always been a console man. I don't have the money to buy a pre-made PC, and I don't have the time to learn and build my own. Like, that's not currently in my criteria of things to do right now. I have more important things to do than to do that, so I just go buy a console. Consoles are mostly stable. They're like pre-built PCs. They're consoles, like especially the Xboxes, because it's basically a PC with hard software on there that you just can't change. That's all that really is, like, to me, honestly. But when it comes to these arguments with the PC stuff, it's like, Jesus Christ, have you not gotten through to your head already? Do not buy games day one on PC. Do not do that. I will say that. Don't fucking do that. Wait a week or two, maybe even a month for a game. Check out the game first. Like, do your research when it comes to this shit before you drop your money on it. Especially if something is $70. If you're going to spend $70 on some shit, you have to do your research on, is this worth my dollar? Because it's $70. That's nothing to scoff at. That's $30 from fucking 100. From fucking 100. That's funny. That's the sentence. That's how my vocabulary is. That's $30 from $100. So that's nothing to scoff at for one thing for entertainment. So I can understand the argument, oh, this is $70 and the game shit. Maybe you should have waited. Maybe you should wait for that, like how I used to do before I had like money to kind of spend a little bit. But even I don't even do that often. I always wait. I see. I research. If a game catches my eye, I look at the gameplay previews. I look at the developer commentaries. I look at the things that are put out before the game is actually out, so I can get a good feel of how this game is supposed to be, instead of just saying, "Oh, this game looks good. It comes out in 2 weeks. I'm a pre-order this." First of all, don't pre-order games unless you're like 100% confident in your pre-order. I'm gonna say that also. So I'm gonna pre-order this. Oh, it's what? You got the whatever edition, so it's an extra $100, which I see people doing, which is wild to me, which is $100 for this one game. Oh, the game shit, day one. Dude, why did you do that? You should have probably looked up more things. You should have probably waited. Like, this is the thing that blows my mind. Like, I see these people, and it was like, oh, I pre-ordered this game, and it was bullshit. I want my money back. But you shouldn't pre-order games. People have been saying, do not pre-order games for the longest time. If you're going to pre-order a game, you have to be very, very confident in your purchase. This is something that you know that you're going to like. Do not spend money on something that you haven't touched. I don't understand that shit. Unless you're super confident, and I've pre-ordered 2 games in my life. That is God of War 2016 and Ni no Kuni 2. I don't even remember pre-ordering that. I just remember going to GameStop one day and they say, hey, you have this pre-order Ni no Kuni, do you want it? And I was like, fuck it, fine. And that game was fucking great too, so I didn't even mind it. So I don't even know when I pre-ordered that shit. I think somebody did it for me on my own account, but that's a story for another day. But that's like one thing. Like, be smart with your purchases, people, before you even buy them. And another thing about this whole argument about frame rate and value and all this shit, dude, is not it's not everybody across the board. Let's get that right. The the stupidest people are the loudest. I'm gonna just say that right now. The stupidest people are always the loudest because the people that can actually see things and deal with things and enjoy things are quiet and enjoying themselves. When you are going on the internet and you see, let's say, let's use Redfall for an example, because that's the game I'm currently playing. I'm thinking about like almost 15 hours in. I got to the second map and all that. I'm having a good time with it. I'm still my first character. I'm playing this game and people were saying, "Oh, this game is a buggy fucking mess." The only bug that I have out of my 15 hours of playing, hold on, I'm gonna make sure that it's 15 hours. Let me check my stats on this. I have 20. Holy shit! I have 27 hours in this game. And the only bug that I have ever encountered so far was an enemy was in the floor. And I was like, oh, well, that's weird. And just walked past that shit. Because he couldn't attack me. I couldn't attack him. I was like, oh, well, whatever. Like, I don't get why people think that these games are supposed to be, like, real life simulators. Like no glitch is supposed to happen. It's a fucking video game. Like, it's entertainment. It's not real life. There's going to be glitches. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be certain things that you just don't like about the thing. That's why I say research your fucking game before you even play it, before you even spend money on it. Like, you dropping $70 on something. Look into shit before you drop $70 on something. That's just irresponsible as fuck. If you just dropping money on shit and then regret it, that's what this buyer's remorse. That's what that is. Like, come on now. And those people that have these buyer's remorse, or not even that, they'll see an article about a game and they'll see something that they don't like about the game, don't purchase the game, don't play the game, but they will go on review websites and review bomb the fuck out of the game. That is just, that shit like blows my mind. That really irks my nerve because you're going over here and you're calling this thing shit because you have a personal gripe about it, but you didn't even play the fucking game. You have no intentions on playing the game, but you feel the need to leave a review dunking on the shit. And do you not understand? And this is like this is a full on rant because this makes me kind of upset because I love video games. I really do. And I see the state that is going in and I'm seeing like the most popular people, especially on YouTube, and a lot of these game journalist companies like IGN and all this other bullshit ones that like you really should not take their opinion for like just take it with a grain of salt. It's a review. Like take their opinion, put it in your mind, conform your own opinion. Am I gonna buy this? Am I gonna wait? Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. But don't just go over there and just blindly hate on shit. And this is why this is making me upset because I see this shit. It's like we're going downhill when it comes to video games. We're going straight fucking downhill. And it's all on the company side. Like, oh, they need to stop putting out busted games and this, that, and the third. But that's not the case. The case is that I'm personally seeing, and I've been playing video games since I was 2 years old. My first console was the Super Nintendo. I started off on games that was before my time. So I seen the evolution of games growing up. Like my first little console, my first handheld one was a Game Boy, no color. I had no color on my Game Boy. I was starting off on the Super Nintendo. We didn't have money for a Nintendo 64. I didn't get that until like a couple years later. So yeah, when I see like these people over here shitting on stuff that I think is either good quality or okay quality, that's the thing that people have to realize. Like, not every game is going to be a big, huge blockbuster. Oh my god, this is the best thing ever. This is going to change gaming forever. And not every game is complete garbage, trash, beautifier. No, sometimes games are okay, and that's fine. That's completely fine. There's always been okay games. I don't know when we gotten to this point of, oh, it's either A or B, black or white, it's good or bad. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, what is the state of this gaming reviewer type, like, field right now? Because right now, it doesn't feel like reviews. It feels like this personal bias. And I'm gonna be really honest, it feels like a lot of personal bias. And when I see a lot of these people that do the reviews and I look at their video and I hear their takes and I'm looking at their gameplay, especially if it's a game that I'm playing myself at the time, I'm like, dude, these guys don't know next to shit what the fuck they're talking about half the time. Like I'll use another example when Gotham Knights came out. I played Gotham Knights. I understand Gotham Knights had a pretty bad frame rate problem at times, but it was very minuscule to what people were making it out to be. Like I had frame rate problems every once in a blue moon, and it was only last for like 10 seconds, and it'll be completely fine for like the rest of the game. Like I barely had any glitches in the entirety of me playing that game, and the combat was really good. I didn't understand the whole oh you can't counter shit, so now the game is not good as Arkham. It's not an Arkham game. They already said in the beginning before the game even came out, this is not on Arkham. We're making this completely different. It's an action RPG light game. It has light RPG things in there. There's very minuscule things. Like you can really be very specific with your gear if you want to, but if you don't have to, if you still want to enjoy the game and just get through it, right? I didn't understand the argument with the combat. Oh, you just have to dodge. Yeah, the Spider-Man does the same fucking thing, and nobody was complaining about that shit. Spider-Man, you don't have a counter. You have a counter attack if you get a perfect dodge, and Gotham Knights has the same shit, but Gotham Knights also has abilities. It has stealth mechanics. It has much more going on with that people really didn't get into. Like even the fact that there are factions that get introduced as the story goes along, and they're incorporated in the open world. Like that shit was fucking dope to me, but people didn't really talk about that, which was weird as shit. Like that's a feature that I thought was dope, but people never talked about that shit when I was looking at it because they were so focused on the frame rate and the combat and comparing it to Arkham. But and that's like that's so unfair. That's so unfair. I feel so bad for like developers nowadays because even with Redfall, I'm gonna use an example again because it's this most recent example of this internet garbage that be going on with these social media reviewers. They're not actual reviewers. These are social media people trying to get the best views, get the most views, get the most watch time, so they regurgitate the same shit because, you know, it is easier and more attractive to people to hate. Attractive? Is that the way to say it? People are more attracted to hate. They're more attracted to negativity. So they'll see a take like, oh, the frame rate's bad, and they'll run with that shit and they'll play the game for like a good, no, 15 minutes sometimes. I seen somebody say 45 minutes and they gave up. They'll play it for like a good couple hours when the game, like in the very beginning of the game, not really looking to understand the game because they have their own personal bias in their head. They already made up their mind about the game, so they already have their personal bias. They're not looking at what the good is giving them. They're only looking at the negative and what they don't like. They don't see anything good that's going on. Redfall is fine. It's an okay game. It's not groundbreaking. It's not awful. It's okay. Okay? Like, it is irky right now because only thing I see about this game is, oh, it's garbage. 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 It's okay. Oh, it's garbage. Oh, it's garbage. It's like, come on. Like, what the fuck? Like, where's the gameplay? Where's the stuff that's going, like, why is nobody covering games no more? And that's so irky to me. Like it's so annoying. Like I remember there was a time where I can look up a video and I can find trailers. I can find people talking about like, oh, this game's gonna be pretty cool. This is the features of the game. And mind you can find that now, but I have to sift through all the fucking junk and garbage of negativity just to find the shit that I'm looking for. I can't find just a plain out just decent gameplay video anymore. And that's wild to me. It's either something of, oh, this is late game gameplay of me doing every single thing flawlessly in the game, which is nice. I like seeing that, but I like to see raw gameplay at times too, with no commentary. It doesn't even have to, like, it can be commentary, like I can't even find that shit no more. And that's crazy to me. That's really wild to me. This is supposed to, we are in a medium of fun. This is what video games are, is art and fun. People have made it negative, complaining about shit that doesn't need to be fucking complained about. Just straight up this lunacy, like people getting death threats over video games and shit. Like, what is going on, guys? Like, I saw an article about a developer that she was actually really sad and then did not understand why people were hating on Redfall so much. Like, she was like, people are actively enjoying that this game has failed. What the fuck is wrong with people? And she was sad about that. And I looked at the comments in the article and they were like, well, she should be sad. They should have put out a shit game. What the fuck, dude? Like, have you even made a game before? Like, do you know how hard this shit is to do? Do you know, like, they do QA testing? They do that shit in the office, but once the game is out in the wild, there is a wide variety of variables that can happen that can go wrong with a game depending on a person's PC rig or just a bug that they never caught, that never showed up when they were testing the game, and you just caught it. That's why we have patches now. Like, I'm not getting this shit. I'm not understanding people. We all play games, apparently. So if you're playing games and you're truly a gamer, I even hate that word now, a gamer, then you should understand this stuff. And I'm not going to criticize a publisher or a developer so heavy, even though I might not like a game personally. I'm not going to go online and say that the game is garbage and complete shit. And oh, don't buy this. Oh, this is the worst game of 2023 or 2022, even last year with Callisto and shit like that. If I've never even tried to make a game myself. I haven't tried to make one, but I've looked up research on what goes on to this stuff, and it is difficult. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. So for people to just harshly criticize this stuff, I'm not saying you cannot criticize, but harshly criticize, calling something garbage, don't buy this, this is the worst thing ever, oh my god, this is the worst game I've ever played, look, that is a very bold statement because there's a game out here called Ride to Hell. I think you should look that up if you think this is the worst game that's ever made. There's plenty of worse games out there. Trust and believe. Like, that is a very wild and bold statement, and you should never die on that hill. Because there are many games coming out. There are plenty of worse games out that's worse than the games that people are complaining about right now. But it's just like I'm seeing this shit. I'm seeing this shit. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, dude, what is going on? What is going on? Like, why is there, like, practically no coverage of this game like right now that's, like, actual coverage? You know what I mean? Like, there's a person here and there that's saying that the game is okay. It just needs a little bit of patches. Like, yeah, here's my gripes with it, here's the good things about it. Like, I've seen about 4 videos of people doing that for Redfall. And the rest of it is the same shit over and over and over again. Oh, the frame rate is bad. Oh, it's buggy. Oh, it is a incomplete mess. That's what they say. An incomplete mess. First of all, we don't know if the game is complete or incomplete because we were never there in the office. They actually worked on the fucking game. This might be what they actually want it to be. It's not your cup of tea. So saying it's an incomplete mess, come on, that's a bold statement. You don't even know that. It could be a complete game. This is having a little bit of issues with the bugs when it's put out into the wild. That happens with every single fucking game that comes out. And some games have more obvious bugs and more frequent bugs than others, but every single game that comes out has bugs. Every single one of them. So I'm not understanding that argument. That is a dead argument. I'm tired of hearing that shit. It's either going to get patched out, or it's going to stay there, play it, or don't play it. Not saying that you can't air your frustrations, but it's like you have to word yourself when it comes to these critiques. It's like when I'm hearing people, like, they say, don't buy this game. Don't tell people what to fucking buy. Because there are people that actually enjoy this game. And sales are going to help those people enjoy this game even more. Because then the studio will get more support. Let people come to their own conclusions if they want to buy it or not. You can put your own opinion out there. But stop influencing people to not buy shit. To ignore things. Because there's plenty of games that come out that has gotten ignored that are actually good. There's plenty of games that people say are shit that are actually decent. I will say one, and this is going to be a controversial take. This is going to be a very controversial take. Fallout 76. I played that game day one. I pre-ordered it. I was there in the trenches day one. I was still playing it. It was okay. There were problems for fucking sure. Like, my biggest problem is that when it came to damage and the AI, like, they wouldn't respond to it. It's like sometimes it would just be static and I was shooting and I was like, oh, that's weird looking and shit. But other than that, I had a pretty decent, oh, and then I would get kicked out of the server every once in a blue moon. But they fixed that like the first week. But that was still an okay game. It wasn't shit to me. I was like, this is okay. I'm still able to play it. I'm still able to follow the story. I'm able to go around, loot my stuff, shoot enemies, build my camp up. Okay, the thing they need to work on right now is the servers and the AI, like how they respond to things, and that's okay. Man, people were tearing that shit apart when it first came out. And there's always these people that just have all these glitches. Oh my god, my game is so glitchy. Dude, if you're a YouTuber, your game is going to automatically glitch you to me at this point. Because there is not a YouTuber alive that I've known that reviews games and say, oh, this game has no glitches. Like, it's always going to be a fucking glitch, and it's always going to be like, it's ramped up to like the nth nth degree. Like they were just gonna make a big deal about this shit. Like not every single game has glitches and shit. Like that shit is crazy to me. But not ever, like that's I'm not gonna get down there anymore. But all I'm saying is in this rant that I'm doing right here is that be open minded. Yes, vote with your wallet. Like yeah, of course, if you don't like something, don't buy it. But Jesus Christ, people, let the fuck up. Like, what are we doing right now? What are we actually doing right now? This is garbage. This is trash. Don't buy this. The worst game of this thing. Oh my god, this is bad. Another person that like I'm gonna call this person out directly because I'm actually a fan of his and I actually like his videos here and there. But lately he's been having some fucking I don't know what your takes has been, man. But what's going on? Like, just give up on the hobby at this point. Is Pyro Cynical. He has this Pyro Live channel, and I swear to God, every single game that has come out, it is always, oh, this is terrible. Oh, this is garbage. Oh, this is trash. Like, what the fuck? I remember when High on Life came out, and he didn't like that because he's like, oh, is this not funny? And it's like, okay, that's subjective. That's subjective. Like, if you like Rick and Morty, okay, you're going to like this game. If you think Morty's voice gets annoying, like after a good 20 minutes, if you watch more than one episode of Rick and Morty and Morty's voice is starting to get on your nerve, yeah, you're not going to like High on Life. Your main gun is Morty's voice. Like, what the fuck are you? Dude, it's just to me is wild. To me is wild. I don't like the way that people are handling shit now. I think we need to have a more open-mindedness when it comes to things, and when people have these negative takes they need to really tell us why you have like you tell us why you have these negative takes, but like are you actually playing the game? Are you actually understanding the game? Are you taking time to enjoy this? Because if I'm coming to you as a consumer to your review on something, I want an accurate and honest opinion about it. I don't want, oh, this is what this person said, so therefore is in my mind, so I'm going to say the same thing. Like, I know a lot of people are actually understanding what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm seeing that a lot now. Like, it's getting stale. And that's why I think I'm kind of irritated about it. It's getting stale, it's getting boring. Everybody's saying the same shit when it comes to every game. Uh, this game is good. Everybody says it's good. This game is bad. Everybody says it's bad. Like, there's no middle ground. There's no conversation no more. And even if you like a game that is supposedly bad, according to the masses, you get shit on. Oh, you like this shit game? Oh, I can't believe you will play this. You're the wrong. You're the reason that's wrong with the gaming community and why they keep on giving us games like this. And it's like, dude, I just enjoy the game. I'm having fun with my game. Like, what is going on right now? But that's it. That's all. That's my rant about this. That's all I wanted to say. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe for videos that come out every 5 years or so because I don't upload that often. I want to get better at that. But yeah, that's my take on this, and peace. Probably see you in the future.